Hello everybody and welcome back to Visit Fylde Coast. It's Sunday, so that means it's time for another vlog with a view. And if you're new to Visit Fylde Coast and it's the first time you've actually dropped on one of these, we usually do a walk on a local beach or seafront, so that we've got something nice to look at and we talk about a topical subject, something that's either nationally interesting or something that's to do with the seaside. So I want to share an idea with you today in Vlog with a View. So if you know any property developers or you happen to be a property developer, you might want to lift your ears up at this point. We're going to walk back this way, and then the wind and the sun's at the back of us because it's a bit bright. But first, don't forget, make sure that you've subscribed to the Visit Fylde Coast YouTube channel. If you're new and you've not done it already, you must subscribe for all our updates, live videos, and all kinds of interesting stuff. And don't forget to give this video a like. Recruit as many of your friends as well as you possibly can. So anyway, on to the subject of today's vlog, and I've kind of been ruminating what to give this one as a title, because I was trying to think of something sort of clever and snappy, and I was struggling a bit, so I might come up with something better when I upload it and put a title on. But basically I'm thinking, wouldn't it be nice to live in what is essentially sheltered accommodation for people that are not elderly? So let me explain my reasoning. It's been all over the news this week that John Lewis is closing, but another 8, is it? They're closing quite a few stores, and the one that really stuck in my mind was the one in Sheffield, because that's where I actually had my first job. So when I left school at 18, when I'd done my A-levels, I worked at what was then Cole Brothers in Sheffield as a management trainee, and I stuck it for the mighty amount of time of 6 months. That's just me all over that. Let's put it this way: it wasn't for me. And since I've been running my own business for nearly 30 years, I think I've proved I've got staying power. Anyway, that's beside the point. But the John Lewis shop in Sheffield is a great big barn of a place. It's enormous. You might have seen it on the national news this week, because they've been using it as a sort of an example, a case study. I think, if I remember rightly, there's at least 4, if not 5 floors. It's a long time ago. There's a building across the road. It faces onto Sheffield City Hall, which is an entertainment venue where they do bands and concerts and things like that. But on the other side of the John Lewis building, there's another smaller shop, which is what used to be used for toys and outdoor clothes and that kind of stuff. But even though it's smaller than the main one, it's still a big shop. So in the town centre, they've got a big slice of real estate, and obviously it's going to leave a huge hole in Sheffield city centre when it does close and when it goes. And I was thinking about all these buildings the other day, and thinking about where they are and where they're positioned and what have you, and thinking about all the people that are wanting to find accommodation, and well, number one, there's a shortage, and number two, there's a shortage of things that people can afford to buy. And you know, it's a long time since I was young, but thinking back to sort of being 25, 30, 35, whatever, and you know, when you're young, you like going out and you like going on the Raz and all that kind of stuff, and town centre living is a very appealing thought, because obviously it gives you perfect access to it all. But personally, wouldn't really want to live in a town centre and be sort of isolated. And I think the COVID pandemic has taught us as well that you can be too isolated and you can be too on your own, she says, in the middle of a great big beach. And I think one thing that people have really enjoyed this year is getting to know the neighbours and getting to know people that live around them and getting to know what goes off in the community and being part of things. And it occurred to me that it would be really nice to live in what is effectively sheltered accommodation, like older people, but designed for people that are younger, so that you're creating a community where, you know, if you're 25 and you've got a job that you've relocated to in another city where you don't know anybody and you're on your own and you've lost your family, that you can meet people and make friends and find someone to call on when you need it, and all the rest of it, and have that sense of community that us oldies have when we live in a lovely place like Cleveland's and we get involved in Cleveland's in Bloom and all the other stuff that we do. We do some work for a business at St Anne's called Links View Mature Living, it's called. And it's a purpose-built building for elderly people. Well, I'm saying elderly people over 55, so I almost qualify. And inside that building is a series of completely private flats. So every flat is no different to this kind of thing. They've got, you know, their own facilities and their own front door that they can lock and be on their own. But within that complex, there's also a restaurant, and when I say restaurant, I mean restaurant. There's a restaurant, there's a hairdressers, just an intermission while I just get over this groin, because I don't want to get all sludged up. Just a second, leg going over. Oh, goodness me, I'm getting stiff. So there's a hairdressers, a little shop, there's a laundrette, and there's all kinds of different things. There's a gym and all the rest of it. So the people that live there all live completely independently, and then they come together and meet in the dining room for the lunch, and they have events. Not normally, they have events and coffee mornings and all that kind of stuff. So, and obviously because they're elderly, they've got call on carers and somebody to keep an eye on them, with a building manager to make sure that they're not in a pickle and they don't, you know, if they've had a fall or something like that, they can get somebody to come. And it just struck me. I mean, every time I go there, I come away feeling really sort of buzzy. It's a lovely place, and everybody seems, you know, really pleased to live there. And you sort of come away thinking, I want to live somewhere like that when I get older. Because I'm a bit of a, you probably noticed, I'm a bit of a gregarious little puppet, and I do like people. And I won't want to be sort of stuck on my own 24/7, but I do like my own space. I like to be able to relax and, you know, be quiet and watch television and just, you know, shut up and be quiet. And it occurred to me that if you could replicate that kind of model, but designed for younger people, it would be amazing. So if you've got kind of a series of, in a building like John Lewis in Sheffield, if you'd got a series of completely separate private flats, you know, nice spec, posh, trendy, modern and all that, but within the building you'd got sort of communal areas. And when I say that, I don't think commune. I mean, you know, like a residents only cafe. You know, you'd have a bar if you wanted one. But somewhere that you can go and get to meet people and get to know people and know your neighbours. Know your neighbours and know who's round you, and then you can actually stand in the corridor and shout, "My washer's leaking! Somebody come and help me!" And for all I know, these kind of things might already exist, but it just struck me that all these big city centre shops like Debenhams and House of Fraser and John Lewis and all the rest of it that are becoming empty would be perfect. And it would bring people into the city as well and create life, normal life, and sort of what you get in a normal, smaller place. And thinking about sort of scaling that down a bit, you could even do the same kind of thing in sort of Cleveland. Because as you probably know, that's a nice bit of wood. That's a nice piece of wood, isn't it? I think we might need to pick that up. That's just a little bit too perfectly whittled, that one. It's got free festoons on it as well. In Cleveland, you probably know that our Marks and Spencer's is destined for Norcross for the new estate that's being built. And that's quite a big shop. And I mean, ideally, we want it to be a shop. We want it to be, well, something nice, something that's useful and worth shopping in. But above all the shops in Cleveland, I don't know whether you've ever looked up when you've been on Victoria Road West, but some of them are retail stores. One or two have got sort of trading stuff upstairs. Most of them are stores for the shops, and a lot of them are just completely empty. They look derelict. And that's space where people could be living. And if people were living in the town centre, it would add so much more vibrancy to it as a town. Here's another one. I'm going to have to pick that up, I'm sorry. No. Driftwood alert. I put them in my bucket for a wash. So I thought if anybody knows a proper big serious property developer that's got bottomless pockets and absolutely shed loads of millions that they can invest, I thought that might be a nice little project to keep them out of trouble. So feel free to pass the tip on, and I'll not ask for commission. You can have that one as a freebie. And I'd be interested to know if anybody does actually know of somewhere like that might exist. And what do you think? Do you think it's a good idea? I'd love to live in a city centre. Not now, not at this point in my life, but I can certainly see that there's an attraction to it. So what do you think? Pop your comments in the comments below. We'll have our weekly chat, and I'll go and climb the Eiger to get back up off the beach. Look at the pebbles. I'm going to need a rope. So from a beautiful Cleveland beach, I'll turn around and you can look at the sunshine on the water. From a beautiful Cleveland beach on a lovely afternoon in March, I will bid you a good day, and we will reconvene tomorrow. Bye for now, folks. Let me just put my wood down and then I can turn it off. Just a second. Bye for now, folks. See you later. Bye.